You can call this soul's purpose. You can call it a vision. You can call it goals to a certain degree. At the end of the day, what is something that you are literally choosing that you want to experience? And how do you know that is from a spiritual perspective? It's getting deeper into the realms of why you chose to be here. What's your soul's purpose? And how do you know you're coming from that level? Because there is a way to tap into that. This is not rocket science. It's not something that's so complex and hard. When we look at our purpose, there is a simplicity to understanding what truly is our soul's purpose. The problem why it becomes hard in life is because we're trying to figure out from our mind. Because we don't know, is it our voice? Is it the voice of our parents growing up? Is it the conditioning of the world and society? Is it our colleagues? Is it the people around all the time? Is it our mentors who we follow or people we idolize or look up to and so forth? We don't know. So your mind is trying to utilize and analyze all those things to try to figure out what is unique to you. That's stressful. That's overwhelming. That's exhausting. There's a different way of doing something when you come to looking at what your purpose is and to tap into the spiritual realms of it, or spirituality, or aligned to that, or it's how you feel. It's what gets you excited. What are you curious about? And when I mean curious, I mean like a kid. You get real curious, and you're like wondering, you want to learn more, you have questions on this, you just constantly are learning and you have more questions, you're learning, you have more questions. That's the kind of path that you want to start to follow. That's what gets you excited. Those are the feelings that you want to have and encompass, because when it comes to defining your purpose, that's the feeling you would have. That's what gets you excited. Defining and understanding what your purpose is, and you have to link it to a feeling. That's how you know. See, soul, spirit, energy, all that, we communicate from a sense of feeling. The feeling that we get things from, it's energy. That's the energy, and the feeling respond. So when we have that alignment to that purpose, there's an excitement. I can't tell you how many times I've been coaching now for 4 years, over hundreds of entrepreneurs I've worked with, 22 different professions, 4 different countries. It's been amazing to see when people wake up. If you ever met somebody who's truly aligned with their soul's purpose and they're truly just sharing, it's not fake stuff. You see them, you may see them multiple times, and they're the same way every single time, always energetic, always happy, always smiling. There's an energy about them. It's not about what they do. It's the energy they're coming from. That's alignment to a higher level. That's a higher level of consciousness. And so you have the power to do this and to understand it. And one of the simplest tricks to a path of fulfillment is tapping into that feeling, knowing what gets you excited. What does that feeling show up in your body? Getting crystal clear with that, and then going with that feeling and knowing that when you choose a purpose of what you want to do, it's that feeling. What excites you? That's going to be your biggest indicator. Know where it comes up in your body. Have body awareness. That's going to be a clue on how to tap in to something that your mind can't comprehend, probably majority of the time. And that's okay. It's not designed to, because it's a whole different element of who we are and what we're about. And this is the process of what we start to tap into. Understanding that feeling, understanding where it shows up, understanding what excitement feels like to you. And then from there, you link that to purpose. And you don't do something, you don't think about something unless it links to that process. So you as the individual, doesn't matter if you're in business or not, what is the vision? Why do you exist? What is your purpose here? And I want you to really sit with that and create something with no judgment. Know what someone would think, not what someone would say, a family member, a spouse. It's just you sitting with yourself and choosing what it is that you are here for. What feels right? And when you write this down, don't judge it. You have to come from non-judgment, because it's coming from you. I want you to think of it as like a little kid coming up to you and sharing what they want to become in their life. You're not going to judge them. You're going to be like, cool, that's awesome. You're going to get excited for them. Well, it's time for you to get excited for you. And maybe, just maybe, if it's hard for you to do that, it's because maybe no one was there getting excited for you when you wanted to become something. Maybe you didn't have that support to choose, and someone support your choices, and instead you got judged by your choices. Or you may be called certain names, which is still a form of judgment. And that's why it's very hard for you to do this, because deep down, deep rooted in your subconscious mind, somewhere, you have that program running where you think that's how life is. And maybe that's why you're afraid to have public speaking. Maybe that's why you don't go out and do certain things for your business or things along that nature. Because once you can identify why you exist, that's half the battle. It really is. Because then you understand two things. You know what it feels like to be excited. You know where it shows up in the body, which means that's in alignment to your soul's purpose of why you exist. Okay. The second thing is you know what your purpose is. So when you have those two things down, now everything else you do has to be in alignment to that. Has to be in alignment to the purpose. It has to align to that in some way, shape, or form. But also the feeling. The feeling is always going to guide you. You see, when we're not on our path, but a sin comes from archery, which means to miss, right? You miss the path. You're off the path, right? When you shoot an arrow to a bullseye and you miss, that's a sin. And so the key concept of this is that when we are not on our path, and I'm speaking spiritual path or soul's purpose or raising your consciousness levels, when we're not there, then you will feel an imbalance. You will feel the disconnection. You will feel all those things. But when you are in balance, when you are aligned to your soul's purpose, your soul, from the state of feeling, the feelings will come of excitement and joy and bliss. You will easily return back to the excitement. You'll easily return back to that joy. And that's the most critical part, because that feeling is going to guide you always to know if you're truly creating a sin or not. You will know a discord, a disharmony, but there's a feeling that comes when we do it. It causes a discord, causes a disruption, a disconnection, and it creates a lower vibrational frequency. And you may feel that. You may feel that within in some way, shape, or form. And that lowers your vibe. But when we're choosing to be on our path, what means the most to us, how we define it, not by the world, not by the matrix, not by our people and friends and friendly and all that stuff, or your profession, XYZ, your mentors, doesn't matter. It's how you define it. You will feel that alignment, that connection, that higher vibe. And when you learn to tap into that more, you make choices that align to that more, and you start to be in alignment with your soul. And this is the path to fulfillment. This is the path of leading a soul-filled life. Either way, however you want to call that path, it's the path to you. And it's going to bring to you a more fulfilled experience rather than some of the more minute, very limited, put in a box. We're starting to really peel the layers back of what really matters and what really is important to you. We're breaking down the definitions of what we've been told how to define things and the words that we choose and turning them around, changing them, because that changes our story. And when we choose different words and it starts to change our story, that changes the vibe and it changes the vibrational frequency to elevate, because it's becoming more authentic to you.